Department of Entomology and Plant Pathology, and my appointment is primarily a research appointment. So I spend most of the time in the laboratory working with graduate students, undergraduates, postdoctoral associates, a lot of time writing grants, writing manuscripts, basically project management. And then in addition to that, I teach a graduate level course in insect physiology. And recently I've been initiating some activities within the department to increase mentoring for postdoctoral associates who are kind of an underserved population, I think, and also to try to integrate what we're doing with postdocs, graduate students, undergraduate students, so we can have a more comprehensive approach to mentoring. Well, I think mentoring is really just a subcategory of teaching. So all mentoring is teaching, but not all teaching is mentoring. I think of mentoring as a one-on-one interaction, or an interaction that occurs over time. So it's really requires building a relationship, which is different than walking into an auditorium of 200 people, delivering a lecture, and leaving. Both are teaching, but mentoring really requires that relationship to be built. And I think that it requires a holistic picture of the student. So you're not simply there to teach them a certain concept about physics. You're there to try to understand what their goals are as a person, as a student, as a professional, and help them with particular skills that they need to get to that goal. Well, I think the most important thing is to find a good fit between the mentor and the mentee. Mentees need to figure out what it is that they're looking for. Are they trying to find a mentor for teaching, for research, for work-life balance? And they may have different mentors for all of those different things, so they have to seek out the right person. And I think that as a mentor, you also have to have a good self-assessment. You know, I try to think about, okay, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what can I help people with, and where might I want to direct that person to someone else. Not saying, sorry, I can't help you, but, well, let me think about that. And I think I have a colleague in this other department who has more experience with that. And also, as I mentioned before, mentoring is really a relationship, so you do need to find people that you click with. Mm-hmm. There are some situations that don't work out, and when people figure that out early, that's better. Everyone's heard horror stories about a person who comes for a degree, spends 7 years working on that degree, and leaves empty-handed. I think that those are almost invariably scenarios where people didn't have really honest conversations about goodness of fit early on. So the mentor maybe was off somewhere doing something else and not giving enough feedback, or personality conflict was years in the making, but somewhere along the line a poor fit happened and nobody fixed it or found an alternative.
Yeah, it sounds like as a mentor, being able to look at yourself and know, hey, this isn't a good spot for me. Somebody else could help this person better. That's a really important aspect of being a mentor too.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Exactly, and mentors have some role in helping mentees also self-assess. Mm-hmm. Because you want feedback to be compassionate and constructive, but it also needs to be honest. And telling someone that, oh yeah, you should do this, when clearly this is not the best fit, that's not really helping them. Well, I think one of the great things about research is that it's always changing. You have new directions to go in, which require learning new skills, new information, so that keeps you fresh in that sense. I think too that I try really hard not to be painted into the corner of being expected to be an expert. What I mean by that is that I think that being able to grow and learn requires being able to ask questions and to not have to pretend that you know everything that there is to know. And I think that's one of the very difficult things about academia, frankly, is that sometimes we have this culture of experts. Everyone's supposed to be the expert in their field. And you're not allowed to say, well, let me think about that. Let me get back to you on that. Let me talk with someone before I answer that. And I think those answers are oftentimes the best answers, the most honest answers, and will result in a better finished product.
Yeah. I keep hearing from, when we're talking about mentoring and now here, just collaborating with your colleagues and other mentors and other professors here, other researchers is just super important.
Yeah, well, for one thing, I work in a very interdisciplinary area of research. So I work on plant-insect interactions and trying to understand plant response to the insect at a cellular, physiological, molecular level. So that draws on expertise from a lot of different areas. So I have to know a little bit about a lot of things. But I also recognize that I am not the end-all be-all expert on plant biochemistry. And my work will always benefit from working with someone who truly focuses in that area and that area only and has a deeper expertise there. So my research is collaborative, and so that's also the outlook that I bring to teaching and mentoring as well. And there's a reason we're collected into universities. We don't just all do these things. Maybe in COVID we do, but generally speaking, we don't, do research in our garage.
Yeah.
We're here to share our expertise.